Good evening, baseball fans. Welcome to Ironman Field for a special Tuesday night edition of Ironman Baseball Live, brought to you by O'Donoghue's Irish Pub, as the Saint John Alpines are in town to make up a rained-out game from earlier in the season. I'm, of course, voice of the Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen, Chris Ray, and joined alongside my ride or die here, Mr. Jake Dignan. What's going on, pal?
Hey, Snag. Good to see you again.
Yeah, I know. We're getting being good buddies up here in the booth, so we're having a good night. And speaking of having a good night, that's what Zach Newman aims to do as he takes the mound here for the Ironmen tonight. Pivotal game here as we are in the second half for both of these teams. Now, Saint John comes into tonight's matchup in first place in the Renzo Senior Baseball League with an 11-5 record. Chatham finds themselves in third with a 10-8 record, a couple of games behind. These teams split a doubleheader down at Memorial Field on Saturday. And Dig, what do you think are some of the keys to the game here for the Ironmen as they start a two-game midweek stretch here with the Irish Festival game looming on Thursday?
Yeah, absolutely. Great to get down to St. John and get a split there. Getting one's obviously important. Lost the second one, so looking to get back into the win column and string a couple here together before the Irish Fest break.
That's right. Again, key games here. The Ironmen have been playing well as of late. Again, a split on Saturday. St. John here tonight. Fredericton, I believe, is here on Thursday. Take a look at the lineup tonight for the Alpines. Adam Clark is in the leadoff spot playing shortstop. Connor Hill is batting second, playing third. Matt Beats, the center fielder, batting third. I think I said Connor was batting second. All over the place early. Love to see it. Mark Legier is catching and batting fourth tonight. Ryan Scott is hitting in the 5-hole playing left field. Ryan Van Snick's playing second, batting sixth. Hayden Dow be doing the duties over at first base tonight and batting seventh. Enos Hayden, St. John's new import that I'm sure we'll talk about as the night goes on, playing right, batting eighth. Connor Huckins is going to hit for himself, the starting pitcher for the Alpines tonight, batting into the 9-hole. And Adam Clark's going to step it in here for the Alpines as we go to get underway here tonight. Clark hitting .311 on the season, 14 for 45. Here comes the first pitch from Newman. And that is right down Broadway for strike one.
And that
Newman
right there, Chris. Sorry,
no,
didn't
go
mean
ahead,
to cut
pal,
you
go
off.
ahead.
I just said that's going to be the most important pitch for Zach tonight. Strike one. Always in the zone.
Yes, sir. That's a curveball high and away for ball one. Newman on the season has thrown 13 in the third innings. Comes in here with a 1-1 record and a 5.25 ERA. Has allowed 15 hits across those 13 in the third innings. And again, key for Zach here is going to be to pitch ahead of these St. John hitters. There's a swing and a miss, strike two. St. John comes into tonight hitting .298 on the season. Again, one of the better marks you're going to see, trailing the Ironmen, hitting .307 as a team. Here comes the 1-2. And that is high and away again. So a couple curveballs early have gotten away from Newman. See if he can make a correction here.
Yeah, just not finishing that pitch yet. Early in the outing, look to get to that release point. Obviously down in the zone with that.
And there is a pop-up in the infield. And that is right at Chris Keating. Takes a few steps in, a few steps back, and makes the play. Clark's retired to start the ball game. The thing is, Dig, it is muggy as all get out here.
Humid would be an understatement for sure, Chris. And there's a little bit of a haze, wind blowing out to left field a little bit.
Yep. And so, again, a scenario where, and then there, just as you see that, a rosin bag makes its way out of the first base dugout. Again, it is muggy. And, again, for Newman to be successful with those curveballs, he's going to need a dry hand. And there is a pitch just below the zone. Ball one to Connor Hill. Hill comes in hitting .340 on the season. A couple of doubles and a home run amongst his 17 hits. Here comes the 1-0. And that is high and tight for ball two. So again, tight at the top here as the Alpines and Ironmen sandwich the Islanders in the standings, all within 2 games of each other. Here comes the 2-0, and that is in the dirt for ball three. And again, obviously a lot to play for. Obviously, you want to finish in the top 3 and avoid that 4-5 series. Obviously, you have the benefit of finishing in the top 2. You're going to get yourself some home field. And that is right there for strike one as Newman tries to battle back. The count is 3-1 with one out here in the top of the first inning. Here it comes. And that is a grounder up the middle. That's going to be a hard play for Malls. He's not going to get to it, so Hill. They base hit back up the middle. Will be the first base runner of the ball game. So 1 on, 1 out here in the top of the first. That'll bring up Matt Beach. Talk about a guy who's swinging a hot stick here. Dig hitting .434 on the season, 4 home runs, 4 doubles. Definitely a guy with some power, some home run power, some gap power. Plays a elite position for the Alpines as well. Beach has become a very key part of this lineup. And that is down for ball 1.
And if I'm remembering correctly, Chris, I think Beach may have gotten Zach for one of those 4 home runs, the doubleheader that they were up here for. So obviously looking to make a better pitch this time and looking to get a ground ball.
In there for
obviously.
strike 1. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, Beach led off one of those games with a home run, a deep home run here, if I remember correctly.
You are remembering correctly.
Memory works sometimes, Dig. Sometimes, pal. And that is an excuse me little check swing. A long run for Molson, and they're going to double off Hill. A base running blunder there as Hill decided to take off thinking that Molson wasn't going to be able to get to it. Well, guess what he did? So it's a 4-3 double play for those scoring at home and no runs across in the top of the first. Ironmen coming to bat in the bottom of the first here. No score. So we go to the bottom of the first inning here. Connor Huckins is on the hill for the Alpines. Huckins has thrown 3 2/3 innings on the season. He's 1-0, the 3.82 ERA. And here's the lineup he's going to face for the Ironmen. Mike McKay leading off, playing center field. Chris Keating, the shortstop, who we're going to talk about a little bit of a record watch here in a few minutes, Dig. Batting second tonight. Nick Leggett jumps up into the 3-hole tonight, playing first base. Jeff Watkin catching and batting fourth. Charlie Mollison's hitting fifth and playing second base. Logan Walsh is batting sixth, playing left field. Zach Goss is batting seventh and playing right field. Julio Hernandez DHing tonight in the 8th spot, and Garrick Hale, the third baseman, in the 9-hole. So again, the goal here for the Ironmen, get to Huckins early.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be make them throw strikes. Not going to overpower you. Going to be around the zone. Lots of hittable pitches. He's going to try to fill it up and get you to get yourself out. So, goal with the Ironman here, don't get too aggressive. Don't get too eager. Hit a pitch you want to hit and do some damage.
That's right. And Mike McKay is going to step it in here, speaking of doing some damage, hitting .351 on the season. Has 20 hits, 7 doubles, a triple, and had 3 stolen bases in Game 1. The Ironmen stole 7 bags off of Mark Legier in Game 1 down there on Saturday. And that is high and away for a ball. So that you have to think, again, we've talked about that before, Dig, the Ironman speed with McKay, Keating, Molson, Jake Cook, those guys. Obviously, they have figured out a way to expose Mark Legier behind the plate. So we will see if that comes into play here tonight as McKay gets ahead in the count 2-0.
Yeah, the free 90 feet or the 90 feet you can take with a stolen base is so important. We've talked about so many 4-3 ball games where that extra 90 feet gets you to score on a single, and that's the difference in the game.
That's inside for ball 3. Few corrections in the chat. Moncton here Thursday night for the Irish
Moncton
Festival
Thursday,
game.
okay.
I had a 50-50 shot.
It's not bad.
I just feel like, you know what, at this point, and that's on the outside part for a strike. Looked like that might have been a little outside, but And again, you know what? With Fredericton still having 16 games to play, you can just guess
You
their
just
name.
assume they're the next game up all the time.
And that's right there for strike two. We did the math. Fredericton, 15 games in 25 days.
That's going to be tough on a team that doesn't have a whole lot of pitching.
That's gonna be rough for them.
The elbows will be
ball
sore.
4. So Mike McKay takes the walk, and here comes Chris Keating. So for those of you who have not been following along, Chris had 2 doubles in Saint John on Saturday, which brought his career total to 61, which means he is now tied the franchise record for most doubles in Ironman history with Kevin Keith. So Keith's looking for, obviously, you'd love to see it here with these next 2 games at home, but his next double will cement his name in the Ironman record book. Mike going first pitch. That's in there for strike 1, and that is stolen easy for McKay. And again, almost on cue, first pitch, he goes and steals it with ease. His 15th stolen base of the season.
They obviously feel pretty comfortable about the pop time from behind the plate by Legier, and know that if we got any kind of foot speed here, let's try to take that 90 feet.
Yep, absolutely. So McKay with steal number 15 here. 0-1's the count to Keating. And that's a curveball in there for strike 2. So a bit of a change in the Ironman lineup here tonight with Nick moving up to the 3 spot, coming off a 6-for-6 effort in the doubleheader there. So getting rewarded by moving up a little bit. And no Jake Cook in the lineup tonight, obviously probably due to the lefty. But Jake had a massive home run that I'm not sure if you've seen the clip of or not, but I have.
It was quite the one, and he was sure that he got it. That's all I'll say about that.
His first home run of the season down there. And that is down and in for a ball. So that runs it now to 1-2. So 1-2 is the count here to Keats. No score, bottom of the first inning. McKay out at second after a walk and a stolen base. And that is in the dirt. Nice block by Legier there. Again, busy weekend for Fredericton. They're in PEI for 4 games this weekend. Make a trip out of it. Be a good time.
Yeah, the boys stay over and enjoy themselves.
Little visit to Anne and Green Gables. Maybe a couple scoops of Cow's ice cream.
Always a good time on the island.
Here comes the 2-2. And that is on the outside part of the plate, called strike 3. And Keats didn't like that one. And again, a little bit liberal with the corners here early on. We saw a couple on the outside part to McKay that were called strikes. And that one, Keats obviously disagreed with the strike 3 call. And I'll tell you what, I've always said, we don't get a real good gauge of up-down from up here, but inside-outside we do. And you can definitely see it's been a bit extra on the outside here early in the ballgame. So here's Nick Leggett. And that ball's in the dirt for ball 1. Nick comes in here hitting an even 400 on the season. 22 for 55. He has 3 doubles. Again, 6 for 6 in the doubleheader in Saint John on Saturday.
And just double checking, the other 2 at-bats, walks. So 8 times on base that day.
There you go. And that's in the dirt, and that's going to get away. Again, Legier gave it a good effort, managed to keep it in front, but Mike able to very easily pick it up and then picks up that extra 90 feet. So now, and these are the situations we've talked about all throughout the season. Runner at third, less than 2 out. And this is where the Ironmen, as of late, during this hot streak they've been on, they have excelled at picking up these guys, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick's got one job, and obviously coming off a pretty hot Saturday.
And that he's going to do it. That's down the line. That's going to get into the corner. Leggett's going to round first on his way to second. Here comes the throw, and he's going to get in there standing. So an RBI double for Nick Leggett, and the Ironmen take a 1-0 lead. And again, put the ball in play, keep that one just fair inside the third baseline. Nick stays hot, 7 for his last 7.
They can't get him out.
They can, whatever the Alpines have done to Nick in a previous life, he is taking it out on them currently. And now we have a runner at second with 1 out, and here comes Jeff Watkin. Watkin hitting .213 on the season. Does have a couple of doubles amongst his 10 hits. Looking to try to get going here again. Hit the ball hard a couple of times here last Thursday night. Only walked away with it with a hit, as one of them was a lineup. That is hit high and deep down the left field line. That one is way out of here, but foul. That, I'll tell you, though, that is the kind of swing that you want to see from Jeff Watkin as you're looking for him to heat up here. Being aggressive, hitting the ball in the air with authority.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, sometimes you're slumping and you're looking for the perfect pitch to kind of shoot one the other way or get a hit. And sometimes it's just best to get up there, see the first one, and take a mighty hack at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So here comes the 0-1. And that ball is hit high and deep to left field. It's going to be in front of the track and caught. Again, that one getting up there just a little bit too far under that one. Looked like it had some steam on it off the bat. Unable to get that one up into the jet stream, so that'll be out number 2 here in the bottom of the first.
No, and with the humidity and the haze tonight, Chris, any of those balls that get up there are going to get cut down quite a bit.
Even with the wind blowing out a bit here to left field, I think you're going to have to put a charge into one to get it out of here tonight. So here's Malson, and that's a curveball in there for a strike. Malson hitting .302 on the season, has 16 hits, double and a home run amongst them. That ball is hit foul down the left field line. So Huckins quickly up here 0-2 as he tries to get out of this bottom of the first inning. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd as the ball likely went through the windshield of a vehicle down there.
Expensive trip to the ballpark.
Always a hazard. And again, you know what? With the construction going on in the lower half of the street here, more vehicles than usual parked on the upper half. So more targets as that one is way up out of the zone for a ball, runs at 1-2. I tell you what, I'm still able to park in my usual spot where I have been safe, knock on wood, for the last 8 years. So we will hope that that remains. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. And that is high and tight for another ball. Ironmen have scored 1 here in the bottom of the first. Mike McKay walked to lead off the ball game, stole second, moved up to third on a wild pitch, and then scored on an RBI double by Nick Leggett, who is out at second base currently. Huckins has the one he wants. Here comes the 2-2, and that is inside for a ball. Again, some
displeasure from the Saint John dugout that one was not called strike 3.
Yeah, Huckins was kind of walking off after that one. But the count is full now with 2 out here in the bottom of the first. Huckins has the one he wants.
I try to go outside here and abuse that outside corner the umpire's been liberal with.
Setup is. And that is fouled back. Charlie gets that one off the fist, fouls that one back. So count will remain full here.
And good at bats so far, Chris. They're making Huckins throw some pitches, and we don't know what the Alpines have for pitching tonight, but every additional pitch, eats into that bullpen a little more.
And that is a hard hit ball to first. Dow able to knock it down and will make the play. So the Ironmen get 1, and they end up stranding a runner at second base. So after an inning here from Ironman Field, it is your Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen 1. The Saint John Alpines no score. It's time from a word from our sponsor, O'Donoghue's Irish Pubs.
It's Irish Festival Week on the Miramichi. Why not spend some of it with your local pub enjoying some great food and great music with great friends? On Thursday, we have Wing Night at your pub from 5 to 9 p.m. On Friday, we have Dram and a Draw live in the pub from 6 to 9 p.m. On Saturday, we have Sarah and James Nelson from 12 to 2 p.m., Dale Whitty and crew rocking the patio from 2 to 4, and Gary Cook live in the pub from 6 to 8. Come on down to historic Willison House and enjoy your Irish Festival with us. O'Donoghue's, welcome to your pub.
So we go to the top of the second inning. It's going to be Mark Legier here, the Alpines catcher, to lead it off. Legier hitting .386 on the season. Has 17 hits, 5 doubles, 3 home runs. Here's the first pitch from Newman. And that one stays up and away as well. So Newman still having some difficulty getting that curveball over here. No, Nora, he's here. He led off for the Alpines. That's 2-0.
Just fighting it a little bit so far, Zach. You know, the name of his game is control and picking corners and throwing that changeup for a strike. So really important that he gets back into the zone.
A 4-pitch walk here. Nope, Billy, you're good. Record watch is still on. Who are the umpires? You know what? I didn't catch the umpires' names. They're all out of town guys. So I'll take a run downstairs between innings and I'll get them from the guys downstairs. Here's Ryan Scott. I tell you what, Ryan Scott has been hot for the Alpines. He's 6 for 9 so far on the season. And Newman now with 5 straight balls. And there's 6 straight balls. The runner's going to go, and Watkin unable to come up with it clean. Watkin might have had a chance to get Legier there, but unable to come up with it cleanly. So Newman has to find the strike zone here. 6 straight balls to start the top of the second inning after his team gave him a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. There's a swing and a miss for strike 1. And, you know, we've talked at length, Dig, about the Ironmen over this stretch where they've been playing well, been getting good starts from all 4 of their guys. You know, Julio and Chucky and Newman and Hale. And, I mean, that's key here down the stretch for them, as that one's fouled off.
Just a little bit out front of that one.
But, yeah, again, right, as we get late in the season, especially into the playoffs, I mean, you really need those 3 or 4 guys rolling well. So looking to get a bit of length out of Newman here in this one.
Yeah, so important to have your starters go deep into games, regardless of what league or what baseball you're playing.
There's another foul ball.
Just allows you to dictate where you want to use your relievers, right? If you want Zach Goss in the 6th because it's a big inning, it allows you to use him then as opposed to having to bring him in, you know, in the 2nd or 3rd. Unfortunately, if you get a poor start from one of your 4.
That's right. 2-2 is the count here now. And that is lined hard. And again, another one that Scott out in front of. So we're going to get another 2-2 here. Scott's fouled off 3 in a row. And that's inside and hits him. So not the end to the at-bat that Newman wanted after battling back from down 2-0. Couple of foul balls and then hits the batter. So the Alpines have runners at first and second here now with nobody out, and that'll bring up Ryan Van Snick, hitting .310 on the season. He bats here in a great opportunity. Squares around a bunt, and that's down for ball 1.
Jeff with some instructions for the infielders, knowing where this ball is going to go if it's bunted by Van Snick.
That is a great bunt down the third baseline. Hale up with it, and he throws to first, and they're going to call him out at first base. So a really close play down there. That'll be out number 1. Runners are now at second and third here. So here's Hayden Dow now. RBI situation. And that's high and tight for ball one. Dow in limited at bats, hitting 8 for 18, good for a 444. A little choked up on the bat here. Might just be looking to put something in play. Ironmen playing runners in at the corners, or fielders in at the corners. That is popped up back this way. And that one's going to be into the screen. Runs at 1-1. And that's high and tight for ball two.
Good arms in all three outfield positions, so a medium deep fly ball, you're going to have a chance to throw Legier out, not the quickest runner in the league.
That's right.
Zach, you really want a ground ball right back to you or at one of the corners.
That ball is a fly ball into left, or over the third base side, and that's going to be out. Jeez. That one rolls out to the side, so that's foul ball. Runs the count now 2-2. Just checking something here. Yeah, no. All right. Doesn't seem to want to work. 2 balls, 2 strikes here, top of the second inning. 1 out here. Hayden Dow looking to cash in one or both of these runs. And that is popped up on the first baseline, and that's going to be fouled into the seats. So a good battle going on here between Zach Newman and Hayden Dow. Here comes the 2-2. And that is just high up out of the zone for ball 3. So a full count now. Here it comes. And that's high ball 4. So Newman loses them. And a snap throw down to third, and Legier just back in time. So the base is loaded here now with 1 out. And here's the Alpines' new import, Enos Hayden. Just joined the team here last week. Already up hitting 375, 6 for 16 with a home run. And nowhere to put him here. Newman falls behind 1-0. Here comes the 1-0. That's fouled off over towards the Alpines dugout again. Is 1-1. And a little ground ball to Keats would be just what the doctor ordered here. And that is high for a ball. Again, Newman falling behind a lot of these hitters here in this inning, Jake.
Yeah, not a recipe for success. If you're Zach here, deep breath. Make sure you got a dry hand. It seems to be dealing with a little bit of slippage on the balls, but
and that is high and away, nowhere close on that one. And now it's 3-1. You got a dangerous hitter and nowhere to put him. And again, I can tell you it is swelteringly humid here. Here comes the full count pitch, and that is hit hard in the left field line. That's going to be foul. Just foul by a couple of feet as it short hopped the wall down there and left. A very hard hit ball by Hayden there.
us in the business just like to call that a long strike.
That's right.
3-2 now, and you make a pitch, and you're one step closer to getting out of this inning without giving the lead back.
Yeah, Brent, I think you're right there, buddy. St. John's wearing the Navy. And that's a ground ball in the third base line, and that is foul. Just outside of the bag at third. St. John's wearing their Navy, and Ironman wearing the black here tonight.
Better than the black on black combo that we saw last Thursday.
Yeah, still
Chris.
not great.
No,
Still not great.
Close enough, but
Still not great. Might be time for a tarp color intervention here pretty soon. Because this, I mean, again, you know what? We don't know spoilers for Thursday, but I don't think Thursday is going to be a problem.
nobody's gonna match Thursday. No, I promise you
I
that.
hope not.
I promise you that.
If they match Thursday, I quit. I'm out. So another full count pitch. What a battle here with Hayden. And that is hit hard into left. And Walsh up with it. It will make the play. And because Legier was waiting to see if that ball was going to get down, he's unable to advance. So that will be F7. And again, Legier there sort of hesitated on going back to tag. Again, as Jake mentioned, not the most fleet-of-foot guy, so it would have been interesting to see if they would have sent him there on a tag-up anyway. But sort of lackadaisical in getting back to the bag there, thinking that maybe that one was going to get down. But a nice shoestring grab there by Logan Walsh. So now we have 2 out. The bases remain loaded, and Connor Huckins is going to bat here to help himself out. Huckins hitting 133 on the season. He's 4 for 30 with a double. And that is off the end of the bat into right. Goss coming in, and he will make the play. So Newman gets himself into some danger with the bases loaded, but he gets out of it with an F7 and an F9. 1.5 innings in the books here from Ironman Field. It is your Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen 1, the Saint John Alpines. No score on this special Tuesday edition of Ironmen Baseball Live, brought to you by O'Donoghue's Irish Pub. So we go to the bottom of the second inning here. Ironman lead 1-0. See if Newman, battling out of that bases loaded jam, turns to a little bit of momentum here on offense. It's going to be Logan Walsh here. Walsh hitting 216 on the season. He's 11 for 51. 9 runs scored. Huckins back out for his second inning of work here. Allowed a run on a hit in the first. And that is outside for ball 1.
Just to get back to Newman, that last half inning, that's a big momentum change right there. That getting those 2 outs and not allowing Saint John to
That's in the dirt for ball 2.
to tie this game early on should give this offense a jolt it needs to put a couple more up.
Allows you to come out to the third, start fresh at the top of the order as well. And Walsh swinging there on 2-0, and that's over the third baseman's head. And that will be a base hit for Logan Walsh. Leadoff man is on here.
Good swing by Logan, not looking to do too much with that 2-0 pitch.
And that's a good sign from Logan Walsh.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of his games here lately. Getting a little too swing and missy. That's a great at bat. Get yourself into a good 2-0 count and a hard hit ball over the third baseman's head for a single. And now here comes Goss, and that's in the dirt for ball 1. Goss hitting .273 on the season, leads the Ironman with 2 home runs, has a double as well amongst his 9 hits. We are currently accepting donations of air conditioners up here in the press box. If anybody has an air conditioner laying around, throw over to first. If anybody's donating who's at the park, wants to bring up an air conditioner here.
I'll take one of those personal portable fans
Yes,
at this point with that.
it is
mists.
cooking up here. And that is a hard hit ball from Goss. That is high and deep to right center, and that'll be caught. Wow, that was a very hard hit ball. And again, we've said it earlier, Matt Beach plays an excellent center field and able to range over quite a ways to catch that one.
Yeah, that ball was scorched by Zach, and a really great play to get to deep right center there by Beach to track that one down.
Yeah, that's one of those ones you hate to go back to the dugout after hitting a ball that hard in that location on the ball field and coming away with an F8. So here comes Julio Hernandez, hitting 154 on the season. There goes the runner. Throw down to second, and he is in there as Van Snick unable to come up with it. Walsh didn't get a really good jump there, but again, the Ironman showing some aggressiveness on the base pass here early. I think if a good throw, and if Van Snick's able to come up with that, he's probably gunned down, but Walsh out to second now. 1-0's the count here to Julio. And that is outside for a ball, 2-0. I tell you what, I listen, I have seen Julio take some aggressive hacks in batting practice. I would like to see him connect with a baseball right here. 2-0. And there is a ball hit out to short, and they're going to try to go to third and get the runner, and he's going to be out. Walsh taking the chance there with the ball hit in front of him. He's going to be retired. I would say you probably chalk that up to a base running miscue. So Hernandez will reach on a fielder's choice. Again, probably not a situation where you want to see somebody get thrown out of third there.
No, I think that's a play where Logan sees the ball in front of him, sees the big hop, and says, I might be able to get there, but just best
That's outside for ball 1 to Garrick Hale.
Best to allow Adam Clark to take the out at first base, and you go to look to Garrick here to cash in.
Yep.
Now you got a runner on first, 2 outs, and you need to make something happen with an extra base hit.
Yep, Garrick hitting .263 on the season. That's outside for ball 2. Looking to turn it back over to the top of the order here. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. That's inside, and not going to lie, pretty low effort from Lashier there, as that one was in the dirt. He just kind of did the Olay scoop job, and that one goes to the screen. So Hernandez will move up to second with ease on the wild pitch. So now 3-0 is the count here to Hale. Huckins is in danger of walking the number 9 hitter. And that's on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Hale taken all the way there. PQ, if you're listening out there, you are correct, sir. Full count, 2 out here to the number 9 hitter, Garrick Hale. Huckins has the one he wants. Comes set, rocks and fires. And that's outside, ball 4. Trying to take advantage of that, what has been a liberal strike zone, a little too far outside there. So again, not an ideal situation for Huckins to walk the number 9 guy. But here we are. And that'll turn it back over to the top of the order, Mike McKay. McKay walked, stole a base, and scored on a Nick Leggett double back in the first, only run of the ball game. And that is outside for ball 1.
Both these teams making the starting pitchers throw a lot of pitches here in the first 2 innings, Chris.
Yes, sir. You're correct on that one, pal. Going to end up being a bullpen game here, I would think. Hernandez with some steps at a second, a long look from Huckins, and that's at the bottom of the strike zone to even the count at 1-1. And that is a ground ball to short. Clark up with a little flip to second to Van Snick, and that's going to do it. So 6-4 to end the inning. So the Ironmen get a couple on. They get nowhere with it. 2 complete in the books. The score, your Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen 1. The Saint John Alpines, no score.
Ironmen Baseball Live is brought to you by O'Donoghue's Irish Pub. Our beautiful back patio is open and dogs are welcome. We even have a special O'Don's Irish Pup menu for your furry friend. Head on over to our website, o'donoghues.com, to check out our full menu and upcoming event schedule. O'Donoghue's, welcome to your pub.
So we go to the top of the third here, 1-0 Ironman. Back to the top of the order here for the Alpines and Adam Clark. Popped out to short his first time. Alpines, no runs on a hit through 2 innings. Ironman, 1 run on 2 hits. The run scoring play, an RBI double from Nick Leggett. His 7th consecutive base hit. And here we are. No team has committed an error. And it's 1-0. So here comes the first pitch of the third from Newman. And that is right on the outside part for a strike. I don't think Clarkie liked that one.
No,
Gives
the
his
first
head
couple
a couple
innings,
shakes.
that outside corner has been a point of contention for sure.
And that's right down Broadway for strike 2. No debate in that one. Clark still shaking his head. Still flabbergasted over that first pitch. Here comes the 0-2. That's high and away. Again, Newman just not able to snap that curveball right now. Goes back to it again and again, leaves it high. And again, at this point, I think you got to go away from it. You got to try to get the change up or something going.
Yeah, the 2 innings, I think that the St. John hitters are probably at this point saying, spit on that curveball.
Yep.
You know, it's been up all night.
And that is popped up in the infield again. Keating calls for it. Comes across the mound and makes the play. So Clark pops out to the second base, or the shortstop, Chris Keating, for the second time. And that'll bring up Connor Hill. Hill, the only base hit for the Alpines thus far. Singled and then was doubled off on what can be definitely classified as a base running mistake on a little pop-up to Charlie Malson to end the first. That's hard down the third baseline, and that's going to be a base hit. Hill coming hard around first. Big turn, and he will go back to first. Logan Walsh gets the ball in quickly, so that's going to be a single. A 1-out single for Connor Hill here in the top of the third. That'll bring up Matt Beach, who popped into that double play. Again, hit a little pop-up. Back of first, Charlie Malson was able to come over and make a play and double off Connor Hill, who had veered a little too far away from first base. So 1 out and 1 on here in the top of the third. There's a massive hack there from Beach.
He was looking to do one thing right there with that swing, Chris, and that's make this a
Cool
2-1
us
ball
off?
game.
Oh, okay. I thought if he wants to come do that up here, I'd appreciate it. My arm is sticking to my program is how hot it is up here. Throw over to first there.
So important for Logan Walsh to get that ball in and hold Connor Hill to the single, because that allows this double play to still be in order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get a ground ball to Charlie, and away you go again.
And he's got him leaning there. And a throw from Leggett will go into left field. So they had Connor Hill dead to rights. That's going to be an E3, which will allow Hill to move to second.
Yeah, unfortunate there with Hill running in the baseline, not a straight shot for the first baseman Leggett, and just bounces it, and Keats can't get a glove on it.
Yep. So now Hill has moved up to second here with one out. 0-1 is the count here to Beach. And there is a hard hit ball to third, and that's going to get through the hole. Walsh up with it. Again, Hill kind of taking his time getting to third, making sure that ball got through. So now we're going to have runners at the corners here with one out for Mark Legier. Oh, there's a bit of a breeze.
If I'm the Alpines here, with Beach being, a decent athlete out there, I might try to start him here and stay out of the double play with Legier on the back end. Good pitch by Newman there. Two-seamer off that front hip, comes back into the righty.
There's a swing and a miss, strike three. Goes back to the breakout of the game.
You know what, Chris? I think he may have listened to you up here. That whole sequence, we didn't see the curveball from Zach, so he may have said, you know what? This is going to be a two-seamer and a changeup game.
That's what we high in left field, at the track, at the wall. It is all.
And in these two at-bats, we've seen what Ryan Scott's trying to do. He's trying to get the barrel out front, and he's trying to yank something down the line here against Newman.
Not going to get it. Or hop the wall. One run has scored. Here comes the second run. Or two. One double.
Not a bad pitch by Zach. Maybe caught a little bit more of the plate than what he loved to, but good swing by Scott staying on that ball. Yeah, it came down in the spirit for sure.
Second here. Will come in third. Second. RBI. So Kevin Bowe's out for a quick visit here. Rylan Matchett is up in the bullpen and warming up with quickness. The Alpines have scored 3 here in the top of the third to take a 3-1 lead, and critical danger still awaits as Ennis Hayden in here with runners at second and third. And that is high for ball one.
And the name of the game right here is limiting damage. You've given up the lead this inning, but no, it's not not the end of the world. You need to get in and get the offense cooking again. But Zach Newman,
And that's ball two.
DEFCON 1 here to make sure that these two do not come in and score.
Yes, absolutely. You got to, again, right, part of, and they're going to put them on.
I don't mind that at all. You get the lefty-lefty, the 9-hitter at the bottom of the lineup.
Yep. So a couple of pitches to Hayden, and they decide to give him the free pass. So now Connor Huckins will bat here. So 0 for 1. And that's right down Broadway for strike one. Again, right, we're just taking their chances here with Huckins, who come into the game hitting 133 on the season across 30 ABs. So playing the percentages here. That's in the dirt. Nice block there from Newman. Or Watkins, sorry. And again, right, if you're the Ironman here, this is where you need this inning to end.
A pretty nonchalant lead over there at first base. I think Nick Leggett was kind of sneaking in to see if they might be able to backpick Hayden.
That's on the outside part of the plate for strike two. It looked like that one might have been a little bit outside, but again, that's been there. Scoreboard is down here. That's high and away. Watkins makes a nice play there. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count here. The scoreboard is down here at Ironman Field. I knew they were up to something because they were already in the bottom of the third. They had the wrong score. And that is in the dirt. And now you're in the situation you don't want to be in here. You're in a full count situation. To the number 9 hitter, you got to come with a strike. Here it comes. And that's ball 4. And that's got to be it. If you're Kevin Bowes, you've seen enough here. And that's going to do it for Zach Newman. Again, he battled. But the Saint John Alpines have gotten the better of him here in the third inning. He lived dangerously in the second, got away with it with a bases loaded situation with one out, able to get out of it. And now 4 runs home here in the third. And Newman will leave with the bases loaded. And the Ironman will turn it over to Rylan Matchett here. So we're going to give Rylan a couple minutes to warm up. We'll come back with his stat line. It is 4-1 Alpines here in the top of the third. So Rylan Matchett in here for the Ironman. He has thrown 10 innings on the season so far, is 0-1 with a 4.90 ERA, has allowed 10 runs and 11 hits in those 10 innings, and he will be asked here to come into a bit of a pickle. Bases loaded here with 2 out in the top of the third, back to the top of the order for the Alpines and Adam Clark. So right into the fire here. Right into the fire here for Rylan Matchett. Again, a lot of ball game left. If you can end it right here, leave yourself a 3-run ball game. Here comes first pitch from Matchett, and that is popped out of play. So Matchett right into the strike zone first thing.
That's what you need right now, Chris, is Rylan to come in and throw strikes and make these Saint John Alpines hitters beat them.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. The 0-1. That is looped into center. That's a long run for Goss and for McKay, but Goss will make it. So Matchett comes in and gets the job done with a flyout. But the Alpines do score 3 and chase Ironman starter Zach Newman. And we'll go to the bottom of the third. It is Ironman trailing the Alpines 4-1. So we go to the bottom of the third inning here. The Ironmen trailing 4-1 after the Alpines put up 4 in the top of the third. It's going to be Chris Keating here, leading it off against Connor Huckins. That'll close the book on Zach Newman. He goes 2 2/3, allows 4 runs on. We have 4, but the scoreboard says 5 hits. He had a strikeout, 5 walks, a hit by pitch, and there was an error committed behind him. And that's high and tight to Keats for ball 1.
Great part of the Ironman lineup here, Chris, if you're looking to get a couple quick ones back.
Yep.
2, 3, 4.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, right, like I said, great to get out of that situation down 3. You got 15 outs to play with
Lots
here.
of ball game,
lots of meat on the bone, as they say. And that's on the outside part for a strike. Keats struck out looking his first time, much to his disagreement. So 2 balls, 1 strike here. And that's in the dirt. We'll go to the screen for ball 3. So Keating, Leggett, and Watkin here to start the inning. And again, you got to chip away a little bit here if you're the Ironman.
Yeah, it doesn't all have to be this inning. You have lots of time.
That is in the air to center. Beach underneath it, and he'll make the play for out number 1 on a lazy fly ball to center field.
This is the guy right here, Chris. If you're in a Saint John Alpines uniform, you do not want to see at the plate.
Nope.
7 for his last 7
Definition of white hot at the plate here in the form of Nick Leggett. And that ball just a bit outside for ball 1. And that ball is hit in the air to right field, medium deep, and Hayden will make the play. So Leggett is retired for the first time since Thursday night of last week as he flies out to right field.
Another well-hit ball, though. Good swing by Nick. Put it to the track the opposite way.
Yep. Yeah, hard to be upset with that. Went down and got that one. Again, tried to flip one out of here. So 2 outs, nobody on here for Watkin. And that is hit hard to short, but that's going to be caught by Adam Clark. So a couple of flyouts and a line out, and the Ironmen go very quickly with very little noise here in the bottom of the third. So 3 innings in the books. The Ironmen trail the Alpines 4-1 on a special Tuesday edition of Ironmen Baseball Live, brought to you by O'Donoghue's Irish Pub.
It's Irish Festival Week on the Miramichi. Why not spend some of it with your local pub enjoying some great food and great music with great friends? On Thursday, we have Wing Night at your pub from 5 to 9 p.m. On Friday, we have Dram and a Draw live in the pub from 6 to 9 p.m. On Saturday, we have Sarah and James Nelson from 12 to 2 p.m., Dale Whitty and crew rocking the patio from 2 to 4, and Gary Cook live in the pub from 6 to 8. Come on down to historic Willison House and enjoy your Irish Festival with us. O'Donoghue's, welcome to your pub.
So we go to the top of the fourth here. The Ironmen find themselves in a 4-1 hole. Ryan Lemachet's going to come out for his first complete inning of work here. He came in the top of the third in relief of Zach Newman with the bases loaded and 2 out and induced a fly out from Adam Clark. Connor Hill's going to lead it off here. He's 2 for 2 so far in the ball game. Squares around at that one and pulls back for ball 1.
And if you're Kevin now, Chris, you're looking for a little bit of length out of Ryland. If you can get 2, 3, 4 innings out of him, that really helps for the Thursday game.
That's a nubber back of second, but Mollison going to go back and make the play. So first out of the inning here recorded. Yeah, and that's right. I mean, you got to turn around here, and you got a Moncton coming in on Thursday, right? An important game. You don't want to let Moncton gain any ground on you in the standings.
No, not at all.
I believe Jamie Walls is going to be the starter in that one for the Ironmen. But again, like to have some options there. You'd like to not have to use somebody like Goss tonight. That one's bounced in front of the plate for ball 1. You'd like not to have to use Goss or anybody else here in this ball game. Like to try to get through her if you can. And that's inside for a ball. And if you are the Ironman Dig, I mean, you do have a bit of a stretch here coming up. You play Thursday, and you have a week off between games before they play again. So you do want to empty the tank here, this week, but you don't want to leave yourself short on Thursday.
No, absolutely.
There's a big swing there by Beach. Looking to hit that one into a different area code. Swing and a miss. Runs a count to 3-1 now. And there is a pop-up. Beach not happy with himself there as that one is popped to Mollison for out number 2. So that'll bring Legier up here with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the 4th.
Legier walked in the second, struck out last inning.
That is high for a ball. One ball, no strikes. And that is on the inside part of the plate for a strike. Legier, not a fan of that call.
No, not happy with that one at all. And that did look a little bit inside from up here, Chris.
Looked like it might have been a little high as well.
But if you're Ironman, you're not complaining.
Nope. That is fouled back. So 1-2 here as the whiff of piping hot pizza makes its way into the press box here. We will spare you a 25-minute diatribe on pizza tonight. Just let you know that if you're in the ballpark and you're listening, or if you're in the vicinity, come on by for a slice of piping hot pizza like pizza. The 1-2. That is outside for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes here. The 2-2. And that is called strike 3, and Legier doesn't like that one, as that one looked a little bit high as well, and he's going to have a conversation with the home plate umpire. And again, Legier, who's catching for the Alpines, and now they're going to get the coaching staff come out here and try to guide Legier away, and they will. Halfway home here at Ironman Field, it is the Saint John Alpines 4 and your Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen 1. So we go to the bottom of the fourth here. Mawson to lead it off, and that is called strike one on the inside part of the plate. So the strike zone has become a bit of a point of contention here over the last half inning or so. That's in the dirt for ball one.
And unfortunate, the last half inning was you're obviously upset with that strike three call, and now you got to go stand, a foot in front of the guy.
And that's inside, and that catches a piece of Mawson. So he'll head down to first on a hit by pitch. So that'll bring Logan Walsh up 1-for-1 so far. So the Ironmen trying to get something going here. And over to first, and now they've got Charlie in a pickle. Back to first he goes, back towards second, and he's going to be tagged out. So about the worst possible thing you could have happen there after getting a runner on down three is have him picked off, but that's exactly what happens. So Mawson is erased on the 1-3-6-4, I believe, for those of you scoring at home. And it's out number one. And that is in there for a strike. That is fouled away. So quickly up 0-2 here on Logan Walsh.
Yeah, just an unfortunate time by Charlie. Obviously, leading the inning off down three. You're trying to build something and build a big inning. Just something that can't happen. He knows that.
Ground route to short. That's going to be a tough play for Clark, and he doesn't make it. He got the throw over there, but Dow unable to make the scoop. And we will see what that gets scored. I assume that's going to be a base hit, and it is.
And just a little bit of miscommunication there by the third baseman, Connor Hill, coming across. Kind of got into the lane for Clark and made that throw a little more difficult than it had to be.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Again, it was going to be a tough play either way. But that'll go down as an infield single for Walsh, his second hit of the game. And now we have another runner at first, this time with one out. Swing and a miss there from Goss on a curveball in the dirt for strike one. And again, right, we know the Ironmen have wanted to be aggressive and take advantage of Mark Legier in the stealing game. But you have to be careful with the lefty over there. That sort of neutralizes it a little bit and a throw over. You heard a good 8-9 guys in the Ironman dugout yelling back there.
Yeah, no, they understand that you can't be giving away free outs right now. You're trying to come back in this ball game.
And there is a drag bunt from Goss, and that's going to be a very tough play, and he's in there. And again, that is heads up from Goss. Again, Huckins falls off to the third base side. And again, he made a great effort there to get to that ball and try to make a play, but speedy Goss running down the line. So back-to-back infield singles here. And now you have two on with one out for Julio Hernandez.
Yeah, just a great pull bunt by Goss there. Anyway at all at this point, right, Chris?
Yep,
it's
absolutely.
get on, and, they were giving it to you. Like you said, Huckins falls off to the third base side and executed perfectly.
And that is hit a mile into the air to right field. Hayden under it, and he makes the play. And then comes up chucking. So that is a high, loud fly out to right field. Hernandez. So that'll bring up Garrick Hale here. Walked his first time up. Again, top of the order looming. Would love a base hit on any way you can here. Two out here in the bottom of the fourth. That is high and away for ball one. Love to try to pick up one of these runs. You do have Walsh who runs well, so single to the outfield should allow them to send him home with 2 out, running on the crack of the bat. And that's a curveball in there for a strike.
You know, a ball in the gap, Goss runs like a gazelle, so you have a chance to score him as well if this ball can get to the wall anywhere at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a bit off the end of the bat, but Beach covers a ton of ground out there. So the Ironmen once again get a couple on, have a runner picked off, and strand 2 on. 4 innings in the books here from Ironman Field. It is your Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen trailing the Saint John Alpines by a score of 4-1.
Ironmen Baseball Live is brought to you by O'Donoghue's Irish Pub. If you are looking for a space to host an event, our upstairs area has seating for 40 for your grad party, baby shower, business meeting, or private party. What better way to host than in a Miramichi historic landmark with awesome food and drink? Head on over to our website, o'donohues.com, to check out our full menu and upcoming event schedule. O'Donoghue's, welcome to your pub.
So Ryan Scott's going to lead it off here in the top of the 5th. Had a 2-run double his last time. Opened the scoring for the Alpines. That's high and inside for ball 1. That is on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike here. The Alpines have 4 runs on 5 hits. Took advantage of 5 Zach Newman walks and a hit by pitch. The Ironmen have committed an error as well. That's on the outside part for strike 2. That error, a throwing error by Nick Leggett after Connor Hill was picked off. The Ironmen have 1 run on 4 hits. 1-2 the count here to Scott. And that is hit hard and high to center. And McKay kind of froze off the bat, and it will get over his head. And that'll be another double for Ryan Scott to lead off the inning here.
2 really well-struck balls his last 2 at-bats, Chris. And
8 for 11 on the season now he is.
any good.
With 3 doubles. So Van Snick steps in here. That ball is spiked in the dirt. And that will give Scott 90 feet. Move him up to 3rd here with nobody out. So Alpine's threatening here with a runner at 3rd and nobody out here in the 5th.
Infield drawn in for the Ironmen. You really want to cut this run down at the plate and
Absolutely.
keep this a 3-run deficit going into the bottom of the 5th.
Absolutely. And that's there for a strike. One ball, 1 strike here to Van Snick. And that is hit high and hard to center. McKay on the way back again, and he will make the catch. But that will allow Scott to score. So a sac fly from Van Snick, and it's 5-1. So
And
that'll
we
ring.
talk about.
No, go ahead, Dig.
No, I was just gonna say we talk about giving away free 90 feet, and that pass ball allows that run to come in and score right
Yep,
there. So
sure does.
important.
So here's Hayden Dow now. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. And that is a changeup outside for ball 1. That's right there for a strike, and some big objection to the height of that pitch from the Alpines dugout. And again, kind of a long pause there before the strike call. There's a swing and a miss. Nice change up from Matchett there. So 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count here to Hayden Dow. And there's a grounder to second. A little bit of a short hop for Maulson, but he'll make the play. So 4-3 on the putout is out number 2. And that'll bring up Ennis Hayden. Hayden was intentionally walked his last time up. Some guys and people in the chat here saying you're doing a great job tonight, Dig. So
Oh well, I appreciate that. Thanks to everybody tuning in.
Maybe I don't tell you that enough. So, and that's there for strike 1. Maybe I don't show you enough appreciation.
No, not at all. The appreciation is all the people at home that put up with us, 2 times this week, not even 1.
Yeah, I know that's the worst part. We'll be here again in 2 nights as Moncton's in town. Back to our regular 7:30 start. That's a hard hit base hit. I tell you what, this Saint John Alpines lineup is they're hitting a lot of balls hard here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of balls on the screws. Ryland mixing pitches well. He's throwing the changeup for a strike and the fastball, but nothing really fooling the Alpine hitters at this point.
No, that's right. So here's the number 9 hitter and starting pitcher, Connor Huckins, trying to help his cause out here. 2 out, 1 on. Massive lead over at first from Ennis Hayden. Time is called here. As I go through the signs. Hayden out to a big lead. He's going first pitch. A bit of a pitch out there, and that will scoop into center field. No chance to throw Hayden out there. If that wasn't the most obvious situation of he's going first pitch, I don't know what is.
Yeah, you see him over there with a 15, 20-foot lead. You got a pretty good idea if you're Ryland there. Maybe throw over just to let him know, hey, I know you're over there. I'm not going to let you get. Good change up there. Check swing by Huckins.
Yeah. And that's already Ennis Hayden's 3rd stolen base since joining the team. And that is hit in the air to third. Gary Hale moving around, and Chris Keating will come over and take charge behind him and make the play. So the Ironmen do give up 1 in the inning. And they trail going to the bottom of the 5th. It is Saint John 5, Ironman 1. So we go to the bottom of the 5th inning here. The Ironmen continue to trail 5-1. They're going to have the top of the order. The guys that you need to get you back in this ball game here. Connor Huckins has pitched well, allowed a run on 4 hits. He's kept the Ironmen at bay. They've had multiple innings of multiple runners on. Stranded a couple here in the last inning.
This feels like the inning, Chris, that if the Ironmen want to make this a game, it's going to have to start with Mike McKay, Chris Keating, and Nick Laggett at the top.
That's right. The time is now, as they say, Dig. So Mike McKay, Chris Keating, Nick Leggett, the scheduled hitters here for the Ironmen. So McKay is going to step in here. Has scored the only Ironman run so far. He walked, stole the base, and scored on a Nick Leggett RBI double all the way back in the bottom of the 1st inning. Was the first run of the ball game. It was the only one the Ironmen have scored. First pitch is up and away for ball 1. That's outside for ball 2. That's right there for a strike, according to the home plate umpire. Don't think Mike agreed with that one. 2 balls, 1 strike. And there's a foul tip back. Not sure why the umpire signal foul tip there. The catcher did not catch the ball. Proper call there would have been foul ball, eh, Dig?
You are correct.
Yeah, I am, I know. 2-2. And that is down for a ball.
Broadcaster, umpire extraordinaire.
It's easy up here in the cheap seats, pal. I'm telling you. we know we're all right.
A lot of armchair umpires in the crowd.
That's right. And there is a number to third, and that's going to be a tough play if it stays fair. What a bounce! As that one is going to be an infield single, a very fortuitous bounce for Mike, as that one was heading towards foul territory and took a bounce back towards fair territory, as that'll be an infield single. So Mike is on here. Again, we'll see how aggressive the Ironmen continue to be. They've stolen a couple bags. They've also been picked off.
If you're Connor Hill playing third base, there's just nothing you can do with that ball. You got to hope it goes foul.
That goes foul 99 times out of 100.
Yeah. And with Mikey's speed, you're not getting him regardless.
No,
you pick that ball up and you have a bazooka attached.
And again, a lot of help from the Ironman bench. Again, not that it plays a factor, but not the usual first base coach, Terry Leggett, away on vacation. So
yeah, no, we got the Jeremy Poole down there.
Jeremy Poole making an appearance over at first base tonight. And again, he's getting lots of help from the Ironman bench.
And great here for Mike to pull a little bit of Connor Huckins' focus away from Keats.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, get yourself
that's
a
in
fastball.
the dirt. Nice pick there by Legier. Well, that's the thing, right? This is where the Ironman can be dangerous. When you got these top of the order guys on, capable of picking up an extra 90, take away a little bit of your focus. Maybe he hangs one here. And that is hit high and deep to right field, at the track, at the wall. She's out of here. A no-doubter from Chris Keating. And it's a 2-run shot, and it's a 5-3 ball game. And again, almost right on cue, Keating gets a meatball there and deposits that one over the Pizza Shack sign in right field. Way over the Pizza Shack sign in right field for a 2-run shot. So just like that, Dig, it's 5-3.
And you know what? We spoke it into existence. Just like the Logans, the first time we were up here, we said, you can't forget about Chris Keating in the box.
Streamstradamus strikes again. Here's Nick Leggett. And that's a curveball in there for strike 1. So now again, still nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. The Ironmen have cut the lead in half from 5-1 to 5-3. And that is high for a ball. And that's in the dirt for ball 2.
And like we said, Chris, it had to be the top of the lineup to get you going there. That's where the
Absolutely.
spark plugs are.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what Chris Keating provided right there.
Yep. And that is off the end of the bat in the air to left. And that'll be caught out there for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up Watkin here now with 1 out. And again, for Keats, that is his second home run of the season, his 4th extra base hit of the season. And RBIs number 15 and 16.
Chris said, I don't need that double tonight. I'm just going to
No,
go
that's
ahead
right.
and get all 4 bases right here.
That's right. And that's high and away for a ball. And listen, the way things are going here, we may get to see him a 4th time.
Yeah, that
History still on the potential table here tonight. And that is high for a ball. Zach Goss has started warming up down in the Ironmen bullpen. Again, now that they have pulled back in the game here, start to see the Ironmen closer get loose a little bit. And that is a mighty hack there from Jeff at a 2-0 pitch.
good swing by Jeff. Stay aggressive. You know,
Yep. He's been hitting the ball hard over the last week. Again, a couple of, he get a line drive out to short last time. Last week, he hit that line drive to third.
there's signs.
Really hard hit balls, just
Yep.
that not falling in right now. That's not going to stay the way that's happening.
No.
And there again, another hard hit ball. That one pulled foul down the left field line. Runs the count 2-2. Again, if you're hitting the ball hard, good things will eventually happen. He had that ball here where he hit a screamer to third. He had a nice line drive to Adam Clark at short last time. Nice hard hit ball there that he was just out in front of. The signs are there that Jeff Watkin is about to break out. What a good spot it would be here, right here on 2-2. And that is a hard hit ball down the line. Inside the bag at third. Watkins going to round first on his way to second. The throw is going to come in, and Watkins in there standing up. So just like that, a hard hit ball from Jeff. And he's out at second here with 1 out. Again, right? They're not always going to be caught. Keep hitting the ball hard. And just like that, we're seeing some activity here from the Alpines bullpen.
And that's a sport right there, Chris, that, the last 2 or 3 games, Jeff's hit the ball in the screws and nothing to show for it. And baseball's one of those sports, you just do the right things day in and day out. Take your BP, and eventually good things will happen if you're hitting the ball hard.
That's right. Cole Flowers now warming up in the bullpen for the Alpines. So again, Huckins has had to work pretty hard here. He hasn't had a whole lot of, other than the last inning, hasn't had a whole lot of, the third inning? Third inning, I think, was his 1-2-3 inning. Other than that, he's had to work pretty extensively. And that hits Charlie Mawson, so Mawson gets hit again. So the second time Charlie Mawson's got on via the hit by pitch, and that's going to bring Logan Walsh up. And Walsh is 2 for 2 in the ball game as well. Again, another guy who we started to see him hit the ball hard. We're going to get times called here as Coach Beach is out of the dugout for the Alpines. This might just be to buy some time for Flowers down in the bullpen. And again, this is where, with the lefty on the mound, if they go to a righty, a game of chess could ensue. Although the Ironmen do not have Jake Cook on the bench tonight, so that would be probably their primary left-handed bat. Jake not here tonight. So Logan Walsh going to hit here, 2 for 2. 2 for 2 off of Huckins here so far. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. The Ironmen now have gotten the go-ahead run to the plate, tying run over at first. They've already scored 2 in the inning on a Chris Keating home run. And that is down and away for a ball. And look at that. Watkins going to pick up the extra 90 feet. He's going to try to score as that ball went into left, and the ball's going to come to the plate, and he's going to be safe. Legier unable to come up with the ball. And that play there was about as bad as it could be for the Saint John Alpines. And I think Coach Beach is going to come out here and argue contact at the plate. So again, that ball got away from Legier not very far. Watkin tried to pick up the extra 90, and I think he had it. Legier throws the ball into left field. Clark, with a very heads-up play coming across from short, he cuts it off. He threw an absolute seed to the plate. Legier unable to come up with it. They had Watkin dead to rights there.
Yeah, there was 10 to 15 feet. If Clark sets his feet and makes that throw, not a whole lot Jeff can do. Yeah. The ball beat him.
And now you're in a situation where it's 5-4 and the tying run's 90 feet away with 1 out. And Alpines bring the infield in here. And that is outside for a ball. Now I have it 2-0. Okay, the guys up below us have it 2-0 as well. They already had it 2-0. I was worried. Here comes the next pitch, and that is hit high in the air to left field from Logan Walsh.
He doesn't see it. Beach doesn't see it.
And that's going to land. They lose it in the sky, and Walsh, who was running hard out of the box, is going to get it all the way to third. So an RBI triple, and this game is tied at 5. What an unfortunate series of events here over the last couple of hitters for the Alpines. They boot the ball around, a couple of errors, and then that one gets lost in the sky. And just like that, it's 5-5, and that's why you run hard out of the box as Logan Walsh is able to make it all the way to third. And now the go-ahead run 90 feet away with only 1 out.
And what did we say this inning, Chris? It had to be the top of the lineup, and they got it started. That is a great hustle triple by Logan Walsh. A lot of guys pop that ball up and they jog out of the box, but Logan was hustle. That's the right way to play the game.
And I'll tell you what, Adam Clark rightfully telling the infield to watch out for a bunt here. And that is popped up back of the infield. That's going to be a tough play, but Clark able to make it. So that is a big out for the Alpines there as Goss pops out to the shortstop for out number 2. And now we're going to see what looks like a pinch hitter here as Tyler McKay is going to bat here for Julio Hernandez. So McKay hitting .263 on the season. He's 10 for 38 with a couple of doubles. Being asked to hit in a big spot here. The Ironmen have scored 4 here in the bottom of the 5th to tie this ball game. And now have the go-ahead run 90 feet away, and Tyler McKay going to be asked to drive him in here. And that is on the outside part of the plate for a strike. And I got to say, I'm surprised that they are letting Huckins pitch to McKay here.
Yeah, the unfortunate triple there by Walsh. I think it's that time of the night where the ball just gets lost in that haze. Both outfielders.
And that is popped up back of the plate, and that's going to be just on top of our heads here. And quickly, McKay down 0-2. Again, Cole Flowers continues to warm up for the Alpines. What a swing we have had here as the Ironmen have scored 4 here in the bottom of the 5th. And have tied this ball game at 5. 0-2 here to McKay. And that is high and away for a ball. You got to think no matter what, this has to be Huckins' last batter. Either he gets out of this inning a tie ball game or the inning continues and he's likely going to be replaced. And that is fouled away there by McKay to keep the at-bat alive.
Good swing by Tyler there. Get a piece of it and try to get yourself a pitch that you could handle in a part of the zone that you like.
What an inning here for the Ironmen. Chris Keating with a 2-run home run. No doubter to right center field. And the Ironmen have cobbled together a couple other ones, taking advantage of some good hitting, some unfortunate events. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Huckins battles back and gets a pop out and a strikeout. But the damage is done here in the bottom of the 5th as the Ironmen score 4 to evaporate the Alpines' lead after 5 complete. The score is your Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen 5, the Saint John Alpines 5. On this edition, O'Donoghue's Ironmen Baseball Live.
It's Irish Festival week on the Miramichi. Why not spend some of it with your local pub enjoying some great food and great music with great friends? On Thursday, we have Wing Night at your pub from 5 to 9 p.m. On Friday, we have Dram and a Draw live in the pub from 6 to 9 p.m. On Saturday, we have Sarah and James Nelson from 12 to 2 p.m., Dale Whitty and crew rocking the patio from 2 to 4, and Gary Cook live in the pub from 6 to 8. Come on down to historic Willison House and enjoy your Irish Festival with us. O'Donoghue's, welcome to your pub.
And we have a pitching change here for the Ironmen as we go to the top of the 6th. Rylan Matchett's job is done after 2 1/3. 2 1/3, he allows a run. Pitched very well in relief of Zach Newman. Again, was put into a pretty bad jam there with bases loaded, 2 out. Goss, coming in here, has thrown 13 2/3 innings, has been the Ironmen's primary reliever so far in the season. He's 2-0 with a couple of saves and a 3.59 ERA. And he's going to come right in here and take on the top of the Alpines order. So again, what a ball game this has been. The Ironmen struck first in the bottom of the first on a Nick Leggett RBI double that drove in Mike McKay. The Alpines, who threatened in the second, put up 4 on Zach Newman in the third with some 2-run double from Ryan Scott, a RBI, I believe it was an RBI walk or walk from Hayden Dow, I think it was.
Walk from Hayden Dow, yeah.
Yes, and Connor Huckets had an RBI walk as well. The Alpines also scored 1 in the 5th as Ryan Scott had a double and scored on a sac fly. The Ironmen with 4 in the bottom of the 5th. Chris Keating with a 2-run home run. And then the Ironmen cobbled together some other runs. We had a bit of a throwing miscue there from the Alpines. We had a ball lost in the sun. But either way, here we are. Another tight ball game here at Ironman Field as it's 5-5 in the top of the 6th. And both teams will see their top of the order bat here in the 6th. Alpines first, and it's Adam Clark facing Zach Goss. That ball just a bit outside for ball 1.
Right on cue, we got another nail biter here at Ironman Park.
Well, here we were. We thought maybe we had a little cushion here with a 5-1 lead for the Alpines, but never right off the home guys. And that is just outside for ball 2. So Goss out of the bullpen here, falls behind 2-0. And that is outside for ball 3 as Clark squared around with, I'm assuming, 0 intention to bunt. And that is right there for strike 1.
Defensive change for the Ironmen as well. Lang Tang now playing right field, obviously taking over for Tyler McKay after he pinch hit for the DH Julio. Goss stays in the game.
Yes, so a little bit of shoving guys around here. 3-1. And that has been a strike all night. Now, again, I believe it's a ball, but that has been a strike all night up until now. Probably a pitch that Goss was looking for there. Again, that's the hard part about when you give those corners on the outside early. You gotta be consistent with it. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that pitch in that location has been a strike the majority of the ballgame.
Well, like you say, we talk about it all the time up here. It's just consistency. And unfortunately, that's been a called strike all night. So tough that you don't get it here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you're in a situation where the Alpine's best base runner is over at first. And that is high for ball 1. So Goss falls behind another hitter here.
Who's looking for that double play ball to either Keats or Charlie up the middle and then race that leadoff walk.
And time is called by the hitter prior to the throw over to first. And worried about Clark over there. Clark 5 for 5 in steals on the season. So 1 ball, no strike here to Connor Hill. And a little step off sling throw over there. Connor Hill's been on base a couple times here in the ball game. Again, the Alpines have hit the ball. 1 through 9, they have hit the ball hard. There goes Clark. That's in there for a strike. And safely in there. So strike is the call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Clark moves up to second on the stolen base. So now the Alpines have the go-ahead run in scoring position here with nobody out in the top of the 6th inning. Easy for you to say. And a little turn to second there. And again, the Ironmen and Goss especially paying close attention to Adam Clark here. And that is on the outside part for strike 2. Again, Hill, I don't think a fan of that call. But that, again, on that outside part, we've seen that called a strike the entirety of the ball game up until now. Lots of looks out here. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 3 as Goss goes to the slider. And that'll be the first out of the inning. A big strikeout there. And now here comes Matt Beach. And Beach is going to get the free pass. And again, for a guy coming in here hitting in the mid 400s.
Why not?
First base open, why not?
You have Legier behind, who's an easier double play candidate. It puts it in place.
Yep.
And it just allows Zach to kind of go after Legier.
And that's the thing. It's certainly not a disrespectful move to Legier. I mean, Legier's hitting 386 with 3 homers coming in tonight. So obviously he can swing the bat. But again, set up the double play, a bit of an easier double play candidate as well. So 1 out here, runners at first and second. And that's in there for strike 1. Top of the 6th inning here, 5-5 ball game. Alpines have runners at first and second here with 1 out. Zach Goss into the ball game here. And a little check out to second again as they are very worried about Adam Clark here.
In the same way we talk about Mike and Keats and the guys at the top of the Ironman lineup, drawing the focus away from the batter, Clark can do the exact same thing out there.
Absolutely. That is high and away for a ball. Adam Clark is absolutely a disruptor on the base paths. When he is out there and he is on, he can make things happen. The 1-1. And that is in under the hands of Legier and fouled back for strike 2.
Legier 0 for 2 on the night with a walk. Both outs via the strikeout.
One ball, 2 strikes here. And that is hit high in the air. And we'll see if they can find it. And Mike McKay able to get under it. Again, Legier hits that ball a mile in the air. Again, after the lost ball up there last inning. McKay and Walsh able to keep a track on it. McKay makes the play, so that is a crucial out number 2. And now that'll bring up Brian Scott, who has been a thorn in the side of the Ironman here in this ball game.
2 doubles, 3 RBIs, a hit by pitch, been on base each time. This is the guy right here you need to get out.
Yep. And I would like to see Goss with that hard fastball ride him in under the hands here. And there we go, high out of the zone. Scott looking for one there.
And the difference with Goss, there's a little bit more velocity to this fastball than the last 2 that Scott has seen. So
he has shown the capability to drive that outside pitch the other way. I'd love to see them setting up coming in here. And that is hit hard out to Molson. And he's going to go to second. So Goss able to work around a couple runners on, but comes out of it unscathed as the Alpines unable to convert. So Bottom of the 6th we go of a 5-5 ball game. We'll be back here on Ironmen Baseball Live, brought to you by O'Donoghue's Irish Pub. So the Alpines have turned it over to Ryan Scott here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Scott's thrown 3 innings for them on the season. 2.33 ERA, has allowed a run. 4 hits. And is going to be asked to keep this a 5-5 game, as it'll be 9-1-2 for the Ironmen.
If you're the Alpines, Chris, you'll take that start from Connor Huckins coming down here.
Yep.
You know,
Long road trip Tuesday night, battles
Exactly.
through 5 again. You know what? Not much you can do. You know, a little bit of a unlucky scenarios behind him, right? You get guys throw it around a bit.
Throw it around.
Legier unable to squeeze that ball at home.
the ball into the outfield that, you know,
Ball in the outfield that
was the
nobody
triple.
could pick up. Yeah, you know, a triple that should not have been. You know what? You could easily say that Connor Huckins deserved better than leaving with a 5-5 tie.
Yeah, no decision for Connor is tough. That
is rough.
last inning got to him, but like I said, if you're the Saint John coaching staff, you're very, very happy with that outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. So Garrick Hale's going to jump in here to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Again, Hale and top of the order for the Ironmen to face Ryan Scott. And here we go at the bottom of the 6th. And that is high for ball 1. Scott throwing some absolute cheese.
Yeah, the fastball velocity is going to be an uptick here from what the boys with Huckins, excuse me.
And that's a deadly curveball in there for a strike. And that is high and tight for a ball. So the stuff looks good. Again, you got to locate it here, especially with some danger lurking at the top of the order here with the number 9 hitter to lead off. Here comes the 2-1. And that is on the outside part for strike 2.
See, and that's the pitch right there that Clarkey was awarded ball 4 on. So the
Yep.
consistency thing hasn't been there with the plate umpire tonight.
And that is called strike 3. And that is a terrible strike 3 call.
You can't give out and in.
Yeah,
You got to pick
no.
one.
That is maybe the most egregious strike call we've seen in this ballgame. Absolutely terrible from the home plate umpire there. That pitch was both up and in and not close. Gehrig had, and here's Mike McKay with the classic Mike McKay, I'm going to stand on top of the plate. See, and he's probably willing to wear one here if he gets it. And Scott throws it high to the screen. So a little gamesmanship here.
Yeah, McKay never one to shy away from a hit by pitch, as we've talked on this broadcast before. And if Scott will give him the free 90 feet for a bruise. I think he's willing to take it.
Yep, and there's a curveball in there, a little gamesmanship back there from Ryan Scott. And it's 1-1. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. It's a 5-5 ball game. McKay now moves back to his usual spot. We've seen Mike do that on several occasions. That's a curveball on the inside part of the plate for strike 2. So here in the bottom of the 5th, everything's a strike, and the score doesn't matter. The 1-2 here from Scott to McKay. And that is hit into right field, a base hit. So McKay is on base here.
And another chance for history is like we were talking about earlier.
That's right. No pressure, though. No pressure. So McKay over at first. And again, now righty on the hill. We'll see how aggressive McKay is at getting himself down to second base as Keats steps up. Last time, Keats hit a long, loud 2-run home run and a throw over to first. And McKay back. Nice move there from Scott. Another throw over to first. That one gets away. McKay is going to try to pick up the 90 feet, and he's in there. That ball will go into left field, but Mike will stay right where he is. So again, right, we talk about these Ironman base runners causing chaos. In that situation, Scott throws over the second time. Ball gets away from Hayden Dow, and Mike gets a freebie 90 feet.
If you're the Saint John Alpines, the last 2 runs that, and we'll see an intentional walk here by Keats, which is probably the right call. Obviously, the way he's
should draw
swinging
some
the bat.
booze, though. So should draw some booze.
But like you said, it's unforced. It's throwing the ball around like it's a hot potato in the infield, and you've given up a couple runs here.
So Keats gets the free pass intentionally after the throwaway. So that'll now put runners at first and second for Nick Leggett. And that is inside and gets him. So that's a hit by pitch. I'm not sure what Scott's protesting there. We heard that one all the way up here. As that curveball got away from him inside, catches Leggett on the forearm. So now base is loaded for Jeff Watkin with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. And again, Watkin has hit the ball hard a couple times tonight. Last time wrapped a double down the left field line. So now, and again, the Alpines playing back in the middle and at third, looking for the double play here. And that is a curveball on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. So again, try to lift something to the outfield here. You got Mike McKay over at third, so would be very, very difficult to throw out in a sac fly situation. And that is inside for a ball. Legier unable to squeeze it. So 1 ball, 1 strike here to Watkin. Again, Watkin has stung the ball a couple times here. He had a line out to shortstop. Again, the ball he hit down the line for a double. Hard hit ball as well. Bases loaded here, bottom of the 6th of a tie ball game. And that is high for ball 2.
And I think that's the pitch that the umpire rung Gehrig up right there.
Yep.
Same location. So.
Yeah.
Got to be frustrating if you're Ryan Scott out on the mound not getting that call after getting it earlier in the inning.
3 curveballs, no fastballs to Watkin here so far.
He always dangerous, Jeff. This is a great spot to.
And there is a curveball again on the inside part for strike 2. Scott staying with the off-speed stuff here. Again, you gotta think it's on Jeff's mind. Does he throw him a fastball here? Is that what he's been setting up for 4 pitches? That is the mental chess.
This is Jeff
between the pitcher-hitter battle. Absolutely. And that is down for a ball. So again, that was not a curveball, more of a slider. Definitely still off speed there from Scott, and now it's full count here, so nowhere to put him.
This is where you get the fastball, and if you're Jeff, you
Yep.
gear up and come
Yep.
unglued right here.
Absolutely. The 3-2. And that ball is down for ball 4, and the Ironmen will take the lead 6-5.
I just don't understand that, Chris. It's 3-2. You got nowhere to put him, and you throw him a breaker.
Yeah.
That's just not thinking. That's.
And again, right? Maybe that is some. Again, I don't know how much Scott has pitched at this in this league, but again, Jeff, no stranger to taking a free pass.
No,
he
really
holds
controls
several walk-related records for a reason.
Yeah, controls the strike zone better than most hitters in this league.
Yeah.
And
that's down for ball 1 now to Charlie.
Maybe it's a sign of respect that you don't throw him a fastball there, but if you're Ryan Scott, you got to be confident in the four-seamer, man.
Yeah.
You got to throw it right there.
You can't have a walk there. You got to make him beat you. And that is down and in for ball 2. So now Scott has lost control of the strike zone. So again, bases remain loaded here with 1 out for Charlie Mawson. Again, the Alpines still looking for the double play up the middle. Corners are in on the grass. 6-5 ball game for the Ironmen. And that is a very late called strike. And again, just an absolutely atrocious strike call from the home plate umpire. And I am not exaggerating, folks. He has been terrible. I'm surprised that's not a called strike with the way this inning has gone. And again, it has been both ways.
Yeah, no,
right?
there's not one team that's benefiting more than the other.
That exact pitch was a ball to Jeff not 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So now it's 3-1 to Charlie. And that is ball 4. So Scott walks in another. And it is 7-5. So back-to-back bases loaded walks.
And just a veteran move by Clark here to go give your young pitcher a chance to take a deep breath, kind of reset, and try to find the zone again.
Yeah. And again, we did see Cole Flowers down warming up for the Alpines earlier. Yes, I might get tossed from the booth. Have to settle down. But again, right, like we've said many times on this stream, all we want from home plate umpires is consistency. We have not seen that today.
You know what? It's called passion up here in the booth.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, we have been equally critical both ways, not just when the Ironmen.
And you know what? We've praised when guys have come in here and had a great zone. We've praised the consistency that they've shown.
And that is, that's a ball. Now again, I paused there because that is a pitch that has been a strike.
Yep.
Most of the night. So 2-0 here now to Logan Walsh. Scott has to find the strike zone. And that is down for ball 3, and now it's quickly 3-0. And Scott is 1 pitch away from walking in his 3rd consecutive run.
And if you're Walsh here, it's a take the entire way. He hasn't been close and has walked the last 2. You got to make him throw you a couple real good ones here.
And that is there for strike 1. Bases remain loaded here. The Ironmen have scored 2 in the inning, both on bases loaded walks. Take a 7-5 lead. And that is off the end of the bat. That is a fly ball into left. That's a long run. And that's going to fall. We're going to get a play over at third. And the runner's going to be out at third, but that is going to be, I guess, technically that's a fielder's choice RBI.
That would be a fielder's choice RBI, and unfortunate for Jeff. I mean, that's no man's land.
No,
and
nothing you can do there.
Clarkie gets a glove on that one. You got to stay close to second.
There's nothing you can do there. So that is a fielder's choice RBI for Logan Walsh. Watkin is retired at third, 7-5 on the putout. And the Ironmen now have an 8-5 lead. And that is a strike to Zach Goss. Now Zach Goss is going to get a chance to help himself out here and then get a chance to go back out and get 3 outs here for a win. And that is high and away for a ball. And this has to be deflating for the Alpines. You travel up here for a late game on a Tuesday. You're up 5-1, and now the Ironmen have hung 7 unanswered runs on you.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is outside for a ball.
2 sides of the spectrum with the emotions here. You're riding high thinking we're going to come talk a win on a Tuesday night.
Yeah,
and,
they were fired up. Lots of chatter
Yep.
from the Alpines dugout, and it is crickets out there now. The 2-1. And there's a swing and a miss from Goss for strike 2.
It's
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
started with the self-inflicted couple throw-arounds, and the Ironmen have made them pay.
Yes, they have. The 2-2 here to Goss. And that is bounded foul down the first baseline. So again, the Ironmen have scored 3 here in the bottom of the 6th, 2 on bases loaded walks issued by Alpines pitcher Ryan Scott, and 1 on a fielder's choice RBI from Logan Walsh as he dumped one in no man's land in left center. Jeff Watkin was thrown out 7-5 at third base. And that is a bounder back up the middle. That's going to be a nice little play there. Van Snick to Clark to end the inning. But the damage done here for the Ironmen as they send across 3 in the inning, and they will go to the top of the 7th, 3 outs away. It is your Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen 8, Saint John Alpines 5.
It's Irish Festival Week on the Miramichi. Why not spend some of it with your local pub enjoying some great food and great music with great friends? On Thursday, we have Wing Night at your pub from 5 to 9 p.m. On Friday, we have Dram and a Draw live in the pub from 6 to 9 p.m. On Saturday, we have Sarah and James Nelson from 12 to 2 p.m., Dale Whitty and crew rocking the patio from 2 to 4, and Gary Cook live in the pub from 6 to 8. Come on down to historic Willison House and enjoy your Irish Festival with us. O'Donoghue's, welcome to your pub.
So we go to the top of the 7th inning here. It is 8-5 Ironmen as they have scored 7 unanswered. 4 in the bottom of the 5th, 3 in the bottom of the 6th, and they are 3 outs away from picking up their 11th win of the season. A win here would improve the Ironmen's record to 11-8, would drop the Alpines to 11-6, which means the Ironmen would climb to within 1 game of first place in the New Brunswick Senior Baseball League.
Such a big game in the standings with those top 3 teams being sandwiched as close as they are, Chris.
And it's going to be Ryan Van Snick here to lead it off for the Alpines. And that is right down Broadway for strike 1 from Zach Goss. Goss came on through a clean top of the 6th. Did allow a couple of runners, but was able to work around it. Again, these Alpines hitters have filled up the bases tonight. 1 through 9, they've had some good swings, lots of hard contact. And you have Dow and Ennis Hayden coming up here. Again, a couple of dangerous bats. So just because we're down towards the bottom half of the order here for the Alpines, no easy pickings here. 1-1 count to Van Snick here to lead off the top of the 7th. Fouled off at the plate, and that's strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes here. Ryan Van Snick leading off for the Alpines here in the 7th. There's a swing and a miss. Goss goes away with the off speed, and that is a strikeout to start the inning. The Alpines now down to their final 2 outs here. Again, we will be live Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. as the Moncton Mets are in town for the annual Irish Festival game. Always a great time, expecting a big crowd here at Ironman Field. Here's Hayden Dow, and that is fouled out of play. And again, of course, we want to thank all of you who have tuned in tonight on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Thank you so much for supporting O'Donoghue's Ironman Baseball Live. Couldn't do it without you guys. We do it for you guys. Appreciate you guys supporting the stream. And there is a bounder down the first baseline, and quickly Goss is up on Dow here 0-2. So again, we will be back in a little under 48 hours to bring you Ironmen and Mets for the annual Irish Festival game. And that is right there. A little low, I guess, would be the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Goss trying to paint one at the knees there. Just a little bit down. 1-2, 1 out here. And that is a little looper into left. That's a very tough play, but Walsh makes a very quick jump. And just like that, the Alpines are down to their last out here. It's going to be Ennis Hayden. Hayden, I'll tell you what, first time I've seen him tonight, and I have been impressed. He has hit the ball hard a few times. He has been intentionally walked, has a single, a stolen base, and had a line out to left field.
Looks like a ball player, Chris. Got all the mannerisms. He looks the part.
That was maybe the most Buck Martinez thing you've ever said, Dick. And there is a little cutter in there for strike 1. And again, Hayden has had some good swings here tonight. The Alpines do have a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle should this inning continue. It looks like Cole Flowers. And that is a broken bat into center. McKay on, and that's the ball game. Zach Goss goes 1-2-3 in the 9th, and that's going to do it as the Ironmen come from behind and pick up a hard-fought 8-5 victory. And again, they improved their record to 11-8 on the season. With the loss, the Alpines dropped to 11-6. The Ironmen will have a chance to get their 12th win of the season Thursday night as the Moncton Mets are in town. And Dig, we said it, right? They got down early. They had a lot of outs. You know, they got the top of the order, got the bats going, a massive home run from Chris Keating. They take advantage of a lost ball in the sky, a couple of throwing errors, but that's baseball, right? You put the ball in play and you grind it out.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, you know, over the last 2.5 weeks, Chris, we've seen the Ironmen play a brand of baseball that's gritty and dirty, and you do the little things right, and the outcomes, have been favorable, obviously. And to take 2 out of 3 against the team that's ahead of you in the standings when it's that close, a really, really good 3 days for the Ironmen.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, right, they have Moncton coming in here. Moncton, who they've been starting to trend upwards. We've said it's only a matter of time before the Mets get good.
Yep.
Big 7-0 victory Sunday night against Fredericton. So should be a classic Mets Ironman battle here. Again, we expect Jamie Walls to take the ball for the Ironman. So, and it's the Irish Festival game. Anything can happen, right?
What more could you want? Jamie Walls, Thursday night to kick off the Irish Fest celebrations here in Miramichi. And we can't wait to see you here again on Ironmen Baseball.
That's right, folks. So thank you so much for watching tonight's stream. If you were watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, we greatly appreciate your support of O'Donoghue's Irish Pub, Ironmen Baseball Live. Again, we could not do this without our sponsor, O'Donoghue's Irish Pub. Thank you so much. On behalf of the best color man in the business, Jake Dignam, I am the voice of the Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen, Chris Jardine. The final score, your Chatham Miramichi Honda Ironmen 8, the Saint John Alpines 5. We will see you guys again Thursday night, 7:30. Be safe, folks.